Hello, we're going to start the 7.21 tutorial today. To begin, let's start with a new. Make sure you load your McFatter template folders. Mine is saved in my documents. McFatter templates, McFatter ACAD, open. Close the properties. For simplicity of the video, turn off the grid. I'm also going to go ahead and do something you do not have to do. I'm going to insert the image of the assignment. Okay. Now we get to the assignment. To begin, we're going to go ahead and draw a rectangle. Start with a line command. Make sure you have ortho on. Ortho is located right here, lower right-hand corner of the screen. If you do not have it, you can load it by the customization. So our first direction is going to be 6.25. Next direction, the downward direction. I'm going to go 8.88. Then we'll go ahead and move it across, go back to the left, 6.25. And I'm going to go 8.88 again to close off our box, our rectangle. Now, for the corners, we're going to go ahead and add a fillet, a 1-inch radius. So I'm going to use the fillet command. Type in R, enter. Go ahead and set my radius at 1. Now I can select the sides, starting with the left side and the top. Right-click, repeat fillet, selecting the top and my right side, left side. It's the first one I did. Right-click, repeat left. Left side and the bottom. Right-click, repeat fillet, the right side and the bottom. All right, now that I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle. The circle is 1.062 diameter. So making sure my circle is on the diameter setting. If not, I can go ahead and place the arrow underneath, changing it to diameter. Picking a random spot off to the side, draw a little circle. That circle is going to be 1.062, enter. Then I'm going to go ahead and select that circle. I'm going to use the copy command, picking the center point of the circle. Then I'm going to hover over using my object snaps and make sure I click on the center of the radius of the other circle. And I'm going to go ahead and place that for each corner, placing it in the center point. Right click, enter. Remember, if you don't have the center showing up, you can make sure that your object snap is on and that the center is checkmarked. All right, now that I have the basic shape, this drawing is actually pretty much complete. Let's go ahead and start getting ready for our layout. I'm going to go ahead and go to a 8.5 by 11 landscape. I'm going to center the drawing best I can by zooming in, zooming out. Once I get a good idea of it, I'm going to change it to 1:1. At a scale of 1:1, you could instantly see that the drawing will not fit in this scale. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to change that to 1 inch to half inch scale, 1 to 2 scale. My drawing now fits, giving me plenty of room for dimensions. I'm going to also turn off my grid, make it a little bit clearer to see. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go back to model space, and I'm going to move these items out of the way. Delete that circle. I'm also going to take the time to go ahead and select the object, and I'm going to change it to the object layer. All right. Now I'm ready to start doing my center lines and my dimensions. First thing, let's go ahead and start with our center lines, specify where our circles are. Change the center line. In the annotation tab at the top, I'm going to go ahead and put my center mark in. From each corner, I'm going to select the largest arc and place that in. You know what, a good idea? Before I go ahead and do that, let me go ahead and escape key. And I'm going to undo those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually set my scale to 1 to 2 for my model space. That way, whatever dimensions and annotations I put on here will be in the correct scale. Let's go ahead and put those center marks back in again, selecting each corner. Right click. All right, so now we're ready to start putting in our dimensions. One thing that's also prevalent that I haven't done yet, that you should always make sure you do before the beginning of the drawing, is to save. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the A at the top corner of the screen. I'm going to save the drawing. Make sure you save it in your work folder. This is going to be the chapter 7. And it's going to be 7.21. I already have one that already exists. I'm going to go ahead and replace it. On yours, you should probably won't have it. So now let's go ahead and start annotating. Oh, one more thing before we annotate. Let's go ahead and clean this these center lines up. To go ahead and make it look a little better, go ahead and go to the home and draw some lines. Now, with the center lines, you have some options. You could use the ends to draw a line. But as you see here, this one didn't make a center line. So I'm going to delete that. Right click, repeat. Oh, no, I'm going to use line command again. This time I'm going to go from the inside gap. What I want to do is I want to aim for just before the node, the nearest point ends. Clicking on the inside of that center mark. Then I'm going to go across and do about the same thing right about here. Right click, enter, and you see I get a nice clean break for my center line. It just shows the relationship between these two circles, that they are in line with each other. I'm also going to go ahead and do a line coming from the end of this line here. Right click, enter, and that gives me a nice clean center line coming across. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process on the other side. And then I'm going to do the bottom. All right, now our center lines look complete. Let's go ahead and change to the anno layer. And then I'm going to go ahead and start my dimensioning. Let's go ahead and put a dimension from here to here. You can see that the number is correct, so we're good to go. Let's go ahead and repeat dimension. We're going to go from the endpoint to the endpoint and pull that dimension up and above. Then we're going to repeat dimension. And we're going to go ahead and do the very top to the very bottom. And pull that dimension across, giving room for the interior dimension. Repeat linear dimension. From here, excuse me, let's do it the outside. Select here to here. Place that dimension. Now it's very important and realize that you don't want these two dimensions in line with each other. They could be misconstrued. They also do not look professional. So what we're going to do with that information, we're going to bring that dimension up. So in order to do that, I'm going to select this dimension, grab that middle dot, and I'm just going to pull it up to a nearest point above. That way our dimensions are nice and staggered. Let's go ahead and put our radiuses in. We have our 1-inch radius. Coming from this circle here. You'll notice that it has a center mark all its own. I don't like that center mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, right click and go properties. And I'm going to turn under lines and arrows, center mark, which is set to line, into none. And then for the other side, I have a 1.062 diameter circle 4 times. So let's go ahead and place that in. Diameter. Select the circle, pull the dimension out, place it. Same thing, I do not want the center line. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here and change center mark. Let's set the line to none. I then have to add the text. So I click on it 2 times. For capital X space. So now it says 4 times. Also may notice that the dimensions don't have that extra 0. So let's go ahead and correct that. Selecting all the dimensions that I don't want to have at 3 places. And if I look dim round off, precision, change the position to 2 places. And now the dimensions now read out what I want to say at the 2 place precision, except for the 1 dimension. All right, and that drawing looks very complete. Let's go ahead and look through this one more time. All right, looks good. Let's go ahead and go to our layout. Then we'll double click inside the viewport. Center that best we can. Our scale still says at 1:2. If it does not, you can go ahead and change it to 1:2 again. Double click out in the gray area to get out of the viewport. Then go ahead and put in all your information, the project, scale, drawn by, date, sheet 1 of 1. Once all the information is complete, let's go ahead and make sure we save our drawing again. Now we're ready to go ahead and print and turn this in. So we'll go ahead and go to print. If the notice for batch plotting comes out, go ahead and get a new single sheet. If you use the correct template, everything should be already set up for you. You should be in monochrome, drawing to PDF, ANSI, expand, ANSI. We can go ahead and preview this. See the drawing in all its glory. Go ahead and close this out. Then what you'll do is once you hit OK, you'll be prompted in Adobe to save the drawing. Once you save the drawing, make sure you save it in the correct location, and then make sure you turn it in. This has been your 7.21 tutorial, and I'll see you in the classroom. Bye-bye.